I'm Joanna Small, the Public Information Officer for the Wheat Ridge Police Department. It's Friday, March 3rd, and this is your WRPD Video Week in Review. Here's a summary of some of the most notable incidents your patrol officers responded to over this past week or so, as well as some cases that our detectives could really use your help in resolving. On March 1st, in the 8200 block of West 44th Avenue, officers found a woman under the influence of fentanyl, which was in violation of a protection order against her. She was also discovered to have 6 active arrest warrants. After she was medically cleared, the suspect was transported to the jail on the warrants, as well as the protection order violation. On March 1st, that same shift of patrol officers was called to the 6200 block of West 41st Avenue for a report that a 71-year-old man with dementia and Parkinson's had left his residence on foot, without his phone and not properly dressed for the weather. By the time we were called, he had been gone for approximately 4 hours, which is very concerning. We canvassed the area and enlisted the help of neighboring agencies. Fortunately, we were able to locate the man safe after just 20 minutes of searching. As this was not the first time something like this had occurred, the man and his wife were offered resources to help prevent future incidents. This was the best outcome imaginable, and we are relieved a tragedy was avoided. On February 28th, patrol officers took a child abuse suspect into custody on a warrant in the 9800 block of West 35th Avenue. The suspect had a $150,000 warrant issued in relation to a Wheat Ridge case. A vehicle registered to him was located in front of the house, and he was observed through a window of the house, asleep. Officers were able to get him outside of the house, and he was taken into custody, then transported to jail on the child abuse warrant. Also on February 28th, officers responded to a verified alarm at the Optic Smoke Shop. When they arrived, they found it had been burglarized. The front door of the business had appeared to be forced open, and property was all over the ground in front of the store. Multiple suspects can be seen on camera ransacking the business. If you believe you recognize any of these individuals or think you have pertinent information about this particular crime, please reach out to our investigative team at the number that's listed there on your screen. Overnight on February 27th, a stolen Dodge Ram out of Denver veered off southbound Kipling and into the Premier Auto lot at a very high rate of speed. The stolen vehicle destroyed 6 other cars in the lot and damaged extensively in much of the property. 2 people ran from the truck. Officers were able to locate some of the clothing they dumped a few blocks away, but unfortunately not the people themselves. A handgun as well as drugs were found inside the vehicle they abandoned at the scene of the crime. Also overnight on February 27th, we were called to another burglary, similar but unknown if related in any way to the one that occurred at the Optic Smoke Shop. This one happened in the 10,000 block of West 49th Avenue at Everbloom. It again came in as an alarm, and when officers arrived, we located a copious amount of stolen property in the parking lot, but the business was locked and secure. Once the owner or manager arrived, they entered and discovered it too had been ransacked. An unknown amount of property was stolen and or damaged. On February 26th, the officers were called to a Menacing in the 4600 block of Kipling. A man who did not live in the apartment complex was discovered sleeping in a stairwell and was confronted by a resident there. A disturbance occurred and the resident retrieved an unloaded shotgun. The man in the stairwell told officers he feared that he was going to be shot. The person with the gun was taken into custody and later released pending possible felony menacing charges. On February 26th, proactive patrol officers contacted 2 people sleeping in a vehicle in the Denny's parking lot in the 9900 block of West 49th Avenue. A routine clearance of the driver showed that he had an active felony warrant out of the Department of Corrections. As officers were preparing to take him into custody on the warrant, a firearm was observed on his person. A search of the suspect also revealed he was in possession of fentanyl. A subsequent search of the vehicle then led to the discovery of 140 grams of fentanyl in various forms and colors, as well as approximately 100 grams of methamphetamine. The driver was jailed on the warrant and faces additional charges for possession of a weapon by a previous offender, as well as unlawful distribution of a controlled substance. On February 24th, a proactive WRPD patrol officer located a stolen sedan in the parking lot of one of our local motels. She investigated and linked that stolen vehicle to a room where 4 people were found hiding. One of the people, a woman, was discovered to have a warrant for motor vehicle theft, as well as the keys to that stolen vehicle in the parking lot inside her pocket. Another one of the individuals had several warrants for his arrest, to include one for robbery. A third person, another woman, left the scene and returned in a second stolen vehicle. Stay with us, it's a lot to take in. In all, 3 people were arrested for aggravated motor vehicle theft, and a search of the motel room uncovered a number of counterfeit items as well as drugs. Now we'd like to revisit 3 incidents that we featured as standalone posts on our social media this week. The first occurred over the weekend when officers were called to the Safeway parking lot in reference to an occupied stolen vehicle. We discovered the suspect also had an outstanding felony warrant. She is now facing drug and aggravated motor vehicle theft charges, in addition to being jailed on her warrant. Tuesday, officers responded to a challenging call involving a 14-year-old girl who crashed a stolen Penske truck and was likely under the influence of illegal substances at the time of the crime. We were able to determine the truck was stolen from a resident in an apartment complex off Kipling. Now, although there will likely be serious criminal charges involved in this, our priority was connecting the teen with the medical attention she needed. And lastly, you may have seen this video on our social media. It's a tearful reunion between bulldog and owner after the dog, along with a French bulldog, was stolen out of a yard at 35th and Kipling back in mid-February. The owner had just lost her husband and believed some of his family members may have been involved in the theft. Detectives tracked down Hank, the bulldog, at one of those family members' residences and convinced the person to bring the dog to our police department lobby, where he was reunited with his rightful owner. But detectives do still need your help. The still missing French bulldog is named Scooter. She is black and white with a crooked tail. Here is a picture of her. If you believe you have any information that could help us locate Scooter, please reach out to Detective Smith at the email address that's listed there on your screen. In between your calls for service, our officers also proactively patrolled areas in our city that are higher in crime, making contacts with people for less serious offenses like trespassing and jaywalking. These contacts often lead to warrants, drug and drug paraphernalia arrests. We also conducted traffic enforcement in areas where we know dangerous driving is more of a problem, issuing approximately 24 traffic citations. That's all for now. We'll see you next time. And please remember, if you need us, we are always just minutes away.